As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
I love it, baby! Woo!
It's a covenant cleanup. We say stupid things all of the time. It's a covenant cleanup, according to you, an unforgivable crime.
What?
Covenant cleanup.
Covenant cleanup.
Sponsored by nobody.
952-417-3000. Ask for Lonnie if you want to get in the mix because you know we push the envelope. Ooh! Alrighty now.
Above average at that.
Alrighty now. Let's roll. What up? 9 to noon is in the air on this Thursday. Good morning. Nordo has the day off, and Brett Blakemore guides the Great Ship Love Covenant today at FM 100.3 KFAN. Coming up later, KG from Seattle on Double B's Wild, and closure to a 2-week roadie. A 2-week roadie. Holy cow. Nacho Lieber on myriad NFL topics around 10 o'clock. Our Vikes Talker of the Day, tied to talkbacks, involves J.J. McCarthy. And let's get set up here. Involves J.J. McCarthy, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Jackson Dart, and Kyler Murray.
Oh, my gosh.
And is tied to a talker. And you get talkbacks at 11:20.
Oh, my gosh. Above average at that.
Minnesota Wild head coach John Hines finishes the radio show today from the Cappuccino Capital. That takes place around 11:40 in the morning. And good morning. And good evening Saturday night to a couple of NFC North teams hooking up for some red-hot wild card weekend action. Joining us now is Double B, Brett Blakemore, co-host of the, at times, controversial Packers review podcast, but it's a preview podcast this week. Rumor has it will drop, as the kids say in the business, tomorrow. And the co-host, Brett Blakemore, works with the Sultan of Smug, old David Sinekin. Good morning, Brett Blakemore, and thanks for helping us today.
Good morning, PA. It's sometimes controversial, sometimes smug, depending on the performance of the team. And right now, we're somewhere in between.
How excited are you right now?
I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm not, jumping for joy. I'm happy that we got the matchup we wanted. Now, they still may lose. I don't think it's a surefire thing. But out of all the teams they could have possibly played, in the last week, it was basically Eagles or Bears. Give me going to Chicago over almost anybody else. I think it's the best matchup for us.
Will you watch the game with your girlfriend I met Sunday in the Vox Box?
I always love that one.
I hope so. You were very lovely.
I was lovely?
Everyone was lovely to her.
We weren't lovely. We were kind. You're a family member. It's
Yes.
your girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. It was nice to bring her up, and we got to hang out in the area and then see the Vox Box and everything. And she's diehard Purple. I mean, she'll never change. So I just have to live with that, which is okay. Not the end of the world.
One thing into that border battle 131, which with the approach taken by your team in advance to the postseason with some Clayton Tune terrorism.
Yeah.
They liked him so much they cut him 48 hours later and elevated Desmond Ridder. Who knew Baron Sorrell? The rookie defensive lineman got a little pop to him. So there were things that were revealed and unveiled during that game from a Packer standpoint that for your fan base probably made it a little bit more than just let's get through this and let's just get to the postseason. I ain't saying a lot, but there were some players who jumped up and played okay who basically never get a chance to play. So it was an odd situation. Here's what I was thinking of morning of the game. Because maybe more so at U.S. Bank Stadium than Lambeau Field, but it happens both places. The season ticket holders, they'll get their lot, all right? And nobody encourages selling your season tickets, but nevertheless, there are some people who will find marquee matchups on the schedule, and they'll be like, all right, well, we got these games in the preseason. We got these 8 or 9 home games. we paid this amount of money for our 2, 3, or 4 seats. And it's the proverbial pretty penny. Well, when the schedule comes out and the Minnesota Vikings are off a 14-win season, playoff bouncing, Green Bay, good basically every single year, maybe not great, but certainly not middling, but it's a border battle and a team that absolutely should be vying for the playoffs at the end of the year. Amen to that, right?
Yes.
Can you, I mean, I don't even know how people would handle this if, like, you know, in September or October, U.S. Bank Stadium, all right, well, it's right around New Year's. It's around the holidays. We might not be around. We got these 4 seats and everything. Vikings-Packers end of the season may be the game to settle the division. Maybe there will be a 1 seed at stake between those 2 teams. So therefore, say you paid a grand total of $800 for those 4 seats. Well, you might be able to sell those suckers for $1,200, $1,600, like to offset some of the cost. You know what I'm saying? So there had to be a bunch of people who did that, sold the seats, marked them up, stuff like that, which we don't encourage, but nevertheless, it does happen. And then all of a sudden we get up to the border battle 131 and we got Clayton Tune terrorism. And I paid twice the amount I'm supposed to pay for these seats because it's a border battle. I mean, you know that had to happen, right?
It had to. That was a game that you circle on and say, this is it. This is a huge... And I've been to border battles. I haven't missed a border battle sans COVID, which no one was at. I haven't missed one yet, and that was the most
You mean
dead...
both during the year? Like here and there?
No, just here.
I was going to say, damn, that's nice.
I'd love to do that. But I haven't missed a Green Bay game here sans COVID. And it was just... I've been to environments in there where it felt like you were going into a hornet's nest, and every single play and everybody, green and gold, purple and gold, everybody knew what the game was. And it actually was nice that it turned into more of a C.J. Ham and Harrison Smith moment because there was nothing else going on in that game we're talking. And Godspeed to you for all the names that you had to learn.
Well, and I'm glad you were there for those touching moments because that was finality, most likely for those 2. The Christmas Day game, I mean, it had a euphoric, loving feel to it, you know, for a non-playoff team known as the Minnesota Vikings, with the way the defense played and Harrison Smith with all the kids fanning him and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, you caught some very good moments, but nevertheless, with this podcast, Packer Review, which is now Packer Preview, from what I understand, you and the Sultan are going to drop that thing tomorrow, correct?
That is correct.
All right, so... When you watch the game, are there going to be snacks? I mean, are you just going to like snacks, drinks? I mean, what are you going to do to ease your nerves?
Yeah, it seems like since I've gotten a girlfriend, which it's been almost a year now, I feel like I go to the grocery store every day.
Right.
When I was bachelor on my own bachelor pad, maybe once every other week, and you'd be fine. Right. Now it's like, oh, we got to go get a new coffee frother. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're going back to Target then. So I understand Corey Cove's pain. Yes, there will be snacks.
Are you going to watch
frozen pizzas?
Are you watching the game with said damsel?
Probably.
Will she, being a Vikings fan, I mean, like, what's the protocol on the pushing? Or the teasing, or the oh no, Carrington Valentine just got beat on a double move by Roma Dunze, and now we're down by 2 scores. Would it be ha ha or honey, I'm so sorry, you're so sad?
Thankfully, it's the latter. She's not a big teaser. I don't go the other way though. Like I don't think I can rip purple and get away with it, and she'll get upset.
Right,
but
no, you're good about that.
Yeah, but she doesn't. I don't know if that's sarcasm or not.
Oh, with me you are.
But she's very good about that too. She is not. She won't wear any green and gold, but she'll probably be pushing for me. And no one likes the Bears, so she's not cheering for them.
This is Brett Blakemore, a producer of 9 to Noon today, co-host of the Packer Preview podcast tomorrow via the iHeart Audio app with David Sinekin. And it's great that he was able to etch out some time during his busy schedule. To join 9 to Noon. Plus, you got the Kraken tonight, and that's a late one.
Big game.
When you cast your gaze the way of Soldier Field Saturday night, what are some quick twitch things that come to mind will be included in the controversial pod that drops tomorrow?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's the defense being able to stop the run. They were able to do it a couple weeks. Basically, every time they've played them, it's been more or less okay. But then every time you think about the run defense in Green Bay, you think, I still see Derrick Henry running through the defense all over Lambeau Field, anywhere he wanted in the state of Wisconsin, practically. So if they're going to be even competitive in this game, they've got to be able to at least contain the Chicago run game, which is very good. And then you've got to hang in for a Caleb Williams mistake. And, he's not throwing it around willy-nilly. He's not turnover prone, but it's possible, and it does happen from time to time. So it starts with the run game, and then hopefully the offense can work a little bit better, and Jordan Love can stay on the field.
Who would you rather have and why? Caleb Williams or Jordan Love?
This is going to shock you. Actually, I'm going to get the murmur. I'd rather have Jordan Love.
Oh my gosh.
A double murmur on the fan.
If you look at I understand where the Bears finished and where Green Bay finished, but if you just look at any advanced analytic and say what you want, but like total QPR, there's weird ones like CPOE, completion percentage above expected, which I didn't even know was a thing until today. Bad throw percentage, go down the list. Love is top 5 in every single one.
Right.
If just total QPR, I think everyone likes QBR at least. Total QBR, Jordan Love is 3rd.
Okay, so
I'm
let's
looking at
let's
Williams
stop right
as
there.
17th.
So are you really into football analytics?
Only when it benefits my narrative.
That sounds like how 9 to Noon handles Pro Football Focus on Mondays when they look at stuff off TV copies on Sunday nights, and then they reconfigure things when they get the all 22 on Monday, and we just kind of forget about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand that.
I like Love a lot.
Do you enjoy having Matt LaFleur as the head coach of your favorite team?
So I do. I am LaFleurian. I want him to stay. I think the arguments for him leaving are not as crazy as the argument is that we've been a 7 seed and squeaked in the playoffs 3 years. We are now the last team to win the division, or the least recent. The Bears, Lions, and Vikings have all won the division more recently than we have. When you're not seeing any progress lately. It's we squeak into the playoffs, we might win a game, and then you're out. And you want to see some progression. That's the argument against him. I would counter that with, well, we've got into the playoffs and we got winning football, and he's a great play caller for the most part. Does he do things that annoys the hell out of me? Yes. Inside zones on 3rd and 1s and 4th and 1s that everybody knows, and the Eagles are calling out that it's coming, and they still do it anyways. Oh, really? Yeah. But at the end of the day, you don't want to throw out 90% of what he does, which is great, for the 10% that you're not getting, because you might not get that 90% with the next guy. So overall, I like LaFleur. I just don't think it's crazy to criticize him either.
With LaFleur, one thing that changed this year that, not in my estimation, it legitimately had been a problem at least the last couple of years, is his work with challenges. Like 2 years ago, he had 7 challenges and he only won 1. He had 1 year where he had 11 challenges, might only have won 2 or 3. But this year into the Vikings game, I think he was 9 challenges, 6 wins.
Yeah.
So that, I didn't realize that challenges had been such a problem for old Matty LaFleur.
And it was, and they're in the border battle too, because that was a dumb one as well.
Lose, and this could be the last game for Myriad, a Green Bay unrestricted free agent to be. The likes of Quay Walker, Kingsley, and Igbari comes to mind. How does podcast co-host Double B feel about all that? Because that list of unrestricted free agents for the Green Bay Packers, it's a voluminous list. Holy cow, like Sean Ryan's on there. Man, there are a bunch of familiar names on there, man.
Yeah, the O-line's going to be, because Walker is gone, and it's going to probably be Jordan Morgan as your left tackle next year. Center, your guess is as good as mine with Sean Ryan on this list. Malik Willis, definitely gone. He's made himself millions and millions of dollars with his few starts. The one that I really want to keep, Quay Walker and Kingsley, the two that you mentioned, I think Rashawn Gary is gone as well. He has been,
and he's not even a free agent.
No, but
he'd be cut.
Yes, he is not worth a fraction of the money he's making.
Yesterday,
right now.
the host of your controversial pod, Super Special Cinny, I mean, I couldn't believe when he was like, yeah, and Elton Jenkins, he can leave too. You could just, like, are you kidding me? Wow. I mean, my man sacrificed for the betterment of the team, saying like, because he's one of the better guards in the NFL. So they move him to center because they needed to move him to center. Yeah, I thought he was doing okay. I guess I didn't follow it that closely. But Elton Jenkins, holy cow. I mean, would you be a fan of him being cut?
I mean, I kind of trust them to do what's right with him. I didn't watch the all 22 on him, but Sinekin's been strong on that all season long, and this is it for him. And It feels like every year we're kind of just reshuffling the offensive line, and somehow it works out that they're a middle, top 10, but not top 5 O-line, and it's okay.
Right.
But yeah, as far as, and then Romeo Dobbs is the guy, the other one, the UFA, I think he's gone as well.
Right.
I think we're the boy who cried golden on the pod, where every week we say, here's where the golden breakout game, and it never comes.
And it didn't come in Border Battle 131.
I thought it would.
I mean, now granted, the Vikings played a majority, if not all of their ones, and they're trying to finish the season winning 5 consecutive. Flores defense finished the season as one of the most underrated stories in the National Football League. I mean, if you look at some of the analytics and some of the things that were done against Jordan Love, Caleb Williams, Sam Darnold, so on and so, Jared Goff, so on and so on, it's unbelievable, man. But it's 9-8 terrorism. It's 9-8 radio. It's 9-8 terrorism. Ain't nobody talking about that with the playoffs on the horizon. So Golden was going against some tough customers. There just was nothing. I mean, like he on a day like that, okay, so they're going to mix in Jaden Reed for a series, let him break a sweat, then that's going to be it. K9 guy played for a series. So I see what he was doing there. McDuffie played a few series, just to keep them in the flow up to the postseason. But Golden, I thought, would be the A topic in the game. And if anything, it's clear, of course you want to win, but if you don't win, tears are not going to drop eyes. So I thought maybe they put Clayton Tune on a couple of 5-step drops and just throw fades even into double coverage just to see if the rookie from Texas can go up and get it.
Yeah, why not?
Well, they didn't do it at all.
No, and the thing with Golden is we kept saying, well, Jordan Love may just go to where, there's not a one like a Jefferson, so we'll just go to who's open, what the defense has given us. Well, then when Willis came in for the injury, Golden still wasn't getting any looks. Then Tune. Golden wasn't getting any looks. So suddenly it's a common denominator of why is Bo Melton doing Iron Man football,
right?
Which is fine, and he's made big plays for us.
Yeah.
But I'd rather take my chances with the first round pick. Is he not understanding the playbook? Can he not block? Like that's the type of questions that we're asking.
Yeah. The first one has to be the answer.
Has to be.
He's not getting the plays at this stage of the season that they feel he should be completely getting. Then you get to route running, depth of route, like with Thielen and Diggs, Devontae Adams with Green Bay or with really the Raiders or the Rams. Full speed, top of the route. You have no idea which way they're going, but they do. They do everything 10 of 10 with the speed, and those are some things that play into those guys being high-enders. With Golden, I mean, it has to be something like that, don't you think?
You would think, because it's just happening you don't go a whole season with getting the looks and targets that he gets and not have something underlying there. I do think he has the physical talent to be very, very good.
He's fast as bleep.
Oh, he's so good. And the man-to-man separation numbers, I saw it once on a tweet, so it must be true, are very good for him. So I like his future, but we got to start using him eventually.
All right, lastly, what makes you nervous about this one?
Lavelle E. Neal tweeting me and Sinekin after the game that we lose, and Ben Johnson is vindicated that he beats Matt LaFleur twice a year, and having to hear Bears fans say that they won the division and beat you twice and knocked you out of the playoffs.
Oh, come on.
That keeps me up at night.
But you can control that. I mean, you can just not look at the social media machines.
Yes.
So you have control of that. You do not have control of the inside zone runs with DeAndre Swift, the emergence of Colston Loveland, which is something on which Packer fans should focus.
Yeah.
Because he's becoming a high-ender right before our eyes and or ears. How Dennis Allen is squeezing everything out of this Bears defense that's only going to get better over the years with drafting and free agency. But I mean, it's talent poor in certain spots, and their pass rush ain't great. But he's getting terrific run out of them. I mean, I think about those more than vomit guy from Fridley calling you a bleep hole for liking the green and gold.
Well, they're both equally valid, but one of them I can control and one of them I can't. Thinking of Loveland, this division, Loveland, Tucker Kraft, T.J. Hawkinson, Sam Laporta.
Yeah, I would take Tucker over all of them, probably. Laporta's right there with him.
Yeah.
I'm a Tucker Kraft guy, man. Well, best of luck to your squad.
Thank you.
And for this podcast, it's Packer Review with Double B and the Sultan of Smug, Dave Sinekin. But it's Packer Preview. And when do you think it'll be available tomorrow, and where can people find it?
Probably about the time you're on a marathon segment tomorrow. It'll be available somewhere around the 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock hour tomorrow morning. That's when it'll be available. It's a Packer Preview podcast, technically on the iHeartRadio app.
Yep.
Search Packer Preview. You'll find it there.
Those marathons, by the way, provided by Steve's Appliances and stevesappliances.com. 7,000-foot showroom in Mounds View. Go say hello, Sarah. Hello, Brian, and meet their elite staff. And if you need appliances, you will not find anybody who works better with you on price points for Whirlpool, GE, KitchenAid, all of your favorite brands. These people are terrific. And like 2025 and 2026, they've picked up the 9 to noon marathon segments, and this would qualify as one. StevesAppliances.com, fast delivery, free recycling, guaranteed low prices. Now, part of the TimberTech What's on Deck set list does include some wild inclusion beginning 20 minutes from now. But when we return, one of our favorites with whom we have not chatted in quite some time, Dane Moore of the Dane Moore NBA podcast. We're going to chat some Wolves and NBA with beloved Dane around the corner. Double B produces, and I'm Paul Allen. This is 9 to noon on FM 100.3 KFAN. Good morning, y'all. NFL to the NBA to the NHL. Next segment right now. Very happy to be joined by Dane Moore at Dane Moore NBA via the X Machine. We have the Dane Moore NBA podcast, which is terrific. And Happy New Year, my brother. Are things going well with the Dane Moore NBA podcast? And good morning.
Oh, they're going well now. It's football season's over. Vikings are over, so now I got to talk to you again.
I mean, absence makes the heart grow fonder, okay, Dane? All right, hold on. Somebody give me a working cell phone number for First Resource Bank so we can activate that before the postseason, okay? Got to make sure Dane's happy within the covenant. All right, let's start here. What do you think about NBA officiating, given the volume of games you watch?
Well, Paul, this isn't your Chris Finch segment.
Well, yeah, I mean, but Finch has to pull back so he doesn't get stuck another 35 dimes.
That's true. That's true. No, I think I'm with. I think Finch and some of the general frustration across the league with their coaches about the officials, the new ones entering the league maybe not being up to snuff, and so kind of the overall quality of officiating being down across the league and the confusion. I do kind of go the other way too, where I'm like, I don't think this is a job that can be perfect, where it's an unrealistic standard that they're held to sometimes. Honestly, man, my biggest take though with the Wolves specific to the refs is I think it'd be a good thing to, chill out a bit with. And I know Finch's thing worked great against Oklahoma City, but what I'm thinking about is, a playoff series or something like that, and how maybe getting caught up with the officials could derail the team for a game or two, in a playoff series when you don't have the time for that. I think Finch especially, man. I think he's which I think he has since the Oklahoma City thing went off. He's cooled down a little bit, but I think it'd be a good thing for him and for the team to yeah, I don't know, just play a little less about the officials.
Have since that nuclear moment Finch had 6 minutes into that Oklahoma City game, do you feel it has helped the team with calls in subsequent games?
Yeah, that's the messed up part, probably, right? Like, it seems like it, or they haven't at least been as overtly frustrated with it, which would signal that maybe they feel like they're getting some more calls. I don't know. I think officiating it's random. It's so random, and sometimes you get bad beats a lot in 1 week, and sometimes it goes the other way. I don't know. I think there's an officiating problem, and I think the Timberwolves have a problem with officiating. So you could point definitely both ways. In my opinion.
What you go to certainly all the home games and a fair amount of the road games, and I'm sure there's going to be a time where you go to all the road games too, the closer they get to the postseason. So you see and or hear what I'm about to say a lot. Now, what do you think of this? I was watching a part of the Charlotte Hornets game last night, and there was a challenge. And when these refs are getting on the mic, they're acting like they're auditioning, some of them, for the silver screen. I mean, it's like they're thinking out what they're going to say, how they're going to drop lines, how they're going to use their voices with the crescendo and let it breathe a little bit, then come in here and talk about the quad. You know what I mean? They're like acting on the microphones, man. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I just had a flashback to that, what was that football game where the official at the end said it was a touchdown, but it doesn't count. You know, it's like almost setting up dramatic effect in that sort of way. Honestly, when I'm at games, I tune out the entire review process and, you know, look at my computer, much like I do T-shirt tosses. It's just so much time, man. There's so much time dedicated to these reviews at games. I mean, I'd probably spend 50 hours a year just sitting there with the green light flashing. I'm just sick of the whole officiating thing. If I'm being honest, it's just a problem in the league, and I think it's just detracting from the product, right? The across the league, the NBA basketball product, when so much of it is about reviews, about officials, about technicals, all this stuff. It's like, let's just do basketball for a little while.
Dane Moore at Dane Moore NBA. Follow him via X if you are so inclined, like 9 to Noon does. Learn more about the Dane Moore NBA podcast, which is frequent. They do the podcast very frequently if you're into the NBA and the Timberwolves. And said squad is on a nice little run of killing Eastern Conference teams. Dane, what are you seeing that's different from losses to, say, Atlanta and or Brooklyn?
I think they're on the best stretch of the season, man. I think these three games and the way that it looks and the sort of technical approach they're taking, which I think starts at the top with Ant. I've been very impressed by these three games, and you can detract from it and say it was against, you know, Miami and Washington and Miami again. But just watching this team all season and having seen their sort of volatility of focus and maturity, just night to night, not really knowing what you're going to get. These three games have been workmanlike, and I think that's I think the league should be put on notice a little bit. The Wolves historically turned the corner in January since Finch has been here. They've been a much better team the final 3.5 months of the season than they are October, November, December every year, and we have a strong indication in these first three games that that's happening again. And I think this team needs a step up to get into that contender status where they believe they belong. But they sure look like it, right? These last three games, I don't know. I think they've been a special team.
Well, when you beat Spoelstra twice in a week, that's eye-opening to me. Right. You know, whether Tyler Hero plays or he doesn't play. I mean, that's one of the best coaches in the history of the NBA, as you know. And if you're going to play a bad whiz team that doesn't care about it over the weekend, put 141 on them. So that was very professional. Has Gobert ever played better? And what are you seeing there?
It's definitely the best offense that he's ever played. Now that's inarguable. Just the development of offensive skills, which we all know was a low bar. has stepped up, and we're seeing him be able to impact offense in a diversity of ways. And we're seeing teams not be able to. I mean, how many times is that exactly what we were talking about when I would come and talk to you in the playoffs during a series? Would be like, all right, the Lakers aren't guarding Gobert, so he's not playing in the fourth quarter. All right, the Suns aren't guarding Gobert, so
right.
You're seeing a Rudy Gobert now that can punish those things if in the playoffs he is ignored, so a team can triple team Anthony Edwards or just load up on him in that sort of way. I think it's the biggest development of the entire season for the Timberwolves, as good as Ant is playing, is that Rudy Gobert looks like an offensive player that should have no problem staying on the floor in the playoffs. It's always been a misnomer, going back to that Terrence Mann game when Rudy was on the Jazz and Mann hit 8 threes or whatever while Rudy was guarding him. That defense was the reason that Rudy couldn't play in the playoffs. That was never true. The truth was teams going small against Rudy Gobert teams and Rudy not being able to punish those small teams on the offensive side of the floor. This version of Rudy Gobert looks like he can and is punishing teams offensively. So I think it's a really big deal, and that's without me even mentioning anything about the defense. And I think he's maybe been the best defensive player in the year this season as well.
Yeah, what's Spoelstra, that part of your Twitter feed, and I saw it the day before, what Eric Spoelstra had to say about Rudy Gobert after the Heat lost at Target Center, that rings truly. I mean, that was really, really effusive praise there from an OG. Right. Dane Moore at Dane Moore NBA via X. Are you sensing any trades less than a month in front of the deadline? And, I mean, the low-hanging fruit here is the biggest name, Trae Young. Now, personally speaking, I like him. I don't like the contract, the injuries. I wouldn't be interested in him. Doesn't make me right. What do you think? Because Trae Young, I do believe, will be traded. What do you think of that? And do you sense any trades?
Well, he was traded last night.
Oh, he got to the Wizards? That happened?
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
That happened last night.
Yeah, for McCollum and Kispert, right?
Yeah. So
thank you.
I mean, you could look at that from a Wolves perspective and go, well, they probably could have got Trae Young, for that's not a huge haul that Atlanta brought back for Trae, which signals that Atlanta was just trying to get off of Trae's contract and the player option he has for next season. I mean, I don't think that type of move for a very expensive player that you would need to give an extension to makes sense for this team for a number of reasons. First and foremost, just starting with how much money this team has committed across the board. It's up against the second apron and all those sort of things. I just struggle, PA, with the idea for trading for any $40, $45 million player. I struggle with who the Wolves are going to give up to make that money match, right? Because it's going to need to be high-quality players from their rotation to go get anybody who makes $40+ million. And I don't know, it'd be a big cost to trade Randall and DiVincenzo, for a $40-some million player, right? Like, it just doesn't line up perfectly to me with any of these players that we've at least seen rumored about right now. So we know this front office will be in the mix whenever there's an all-star, all-NBA caliber player on the board. I just think they're going to necessarily have to operate with real caution and jump on an opportunity that is ridiculously favorable, like when they traded D'Angelo Russell to the Lakers.
Yep.
I think they'll sit around and wait for one of those if those materialize. But I don't know. It's a different time. It's a different type of trade market for the Wolves when they don't have picks to trade, right? To go get somebody, they're going to have to give up somebody that's in their rotation or that they've recently spent a first-round pick on, like Rob Dillingham and Terrence Shannon Jr. I think that it's going to be more of a smaller move, or that makes more sense to me, I should say, is not a $40 million player.
How costly would it be? And this is from Dane's most recent podcast, where you can find it at Dane Moore NBA. I believe Britt Robson was the most recent co-host. How costly would it be to trade Dante DiVincenzo?
Yeah, see, that's the thing is when we talk about this Wolves team being volatile from a competitive standpoint night to night and a little bit, immature, Dante and Rudy are pretty much the same night to night. Not necessarily their production, but their approach, right? They're 82-game guys where they come in locked in, play with energy and focus no matter what. And both of them have their flaws. It doesn't, just because Ant doesn't do that doesn't mean that Rudy Gobert and Dante DiVincenzo are better than Ant or something like that. I just think Dante is important to this team for the reason that he is scrappy every single night. He plays hard every single night. He's won a championship. I think he gets it in a way that a lot of these other guys don't understand of what a championship standard is, just because they haven't been there yet. Now, at the same time, Dante DiVincenzo's not a perfect player, and if you're going to go get a more talented player, it's probably going to cost you Dante DiVincenzo in a trade. I'm just saying there's some opportunity cost. Like you better get a guy back who has a serious professional approach too, because this team has shown it needs that. It needs that sort of veteran leadership and maturity about them.
Time for two more for Dane Moore. And with Cleveland here tonight, I mean, Randall and Gobert versus Mobley and Jared Allen. I mean, this one has some potential bloodbath to it tonight, doesn't it?
Yeah, man, I'm looking for it. It's 2 in a row against Cleveland too. So one of those little mini kind of like playoff series, middle of the season. It's going to be really interesting because this team does struggle against specifically, I think, really strong pick and roll actions. And you look at the loss against Brooklyn, you look at the loss against Atlanta recently, their two most recent losses, and they just got diced up in the paint, right? The guard creating confusion and pick and roll and just kind of feeding the big points in the paint, points in the paint, points in the paint. So it's going to be a good test here against Cleveland, who's got two very big bigs to punish you in the paint. But the Wolves have that too, right? They got Rudy Gobert.
Yep.
Julius Randle's physical, Naz Reid. It is a little bit of one of my concerns with this team, though, the depth of big man play, or big man available that the Wolves have to be able to throw at teams like this. Like Gobert getting in foul trouble against Jokic in the Denver game. I have concerns about that in the playoffs. This team does need to show it can handle opposing bigs. And I think these two against Cleveland will be a good test there.
All right, lastly, my brother, OKC beat Utah in overtime last night and did so at home. A couple of days after getting smashed at home by lowly Charlotte. Yeah. Why are the Thunder a bit offbeat right now?
I think there's something to the target on your back sort of deal where when you've won the championship, and maybe you've won the championship and not been a very popular team in the process, teams are gunning for you. I think that's happening to them. But also, kind of in comparison to the Wolves, right, it's hard to play hard for 82 games for a whole season. It's hard to play hard in 80% of your games. I think I don't have as much concern about the Thunder getting back right because I don't think like laziness is in their DNA or immaturity is in their DNA. I think the opposite is in their DNA. And so they're instead kind of going through a rough patch is what I would call it. Whereas with the Wolves, it feels like some of the volatility is a little bit more in their DNA. That's what Finch said at his press conference the other day. It's like, we're trying to shake this from our DNA. But it's a good example that even the best teams can have these really rough stretches, and it's a good reminder to like the whole never too high, never too low sort of deal, which I think this Wolves team is actually very good at managing themselves. But I think Oklahoma City will be all right. They're definitely in a rough patch. You're awesome, man. Have fun with the podcast. We'll stay in touch more frequently if you have time. Okay, Dane? Appreciate you having me, man. Thank you. Yep. Thanks, bud. Dane Moore, elite NBA mind at Dane Moore NBA via the X machine. We're going to go to Seattle and chat with Kevin Gorg of FanDuel Sports North about the Wild and the Kraken this evening. But first, we have another head coach opening. Mike McDaniel, head coach of the Miami Dolphins, has been relieved of his duties. So there's also a general manager's spot open there too. So we're up to eight openings for head coaching jobs in the NFL. Mike McDaniel fired this morning. We'll be right back.
Wild fans, this is your season. Experience the energy, the goals, the unforgettable moments at Grand Casino Arena. Get your tickets now, including to Wild Devils January 12th, Wild Jets January 15th, wild.com/tickets to cheer on the Wild this season, wild.com/tickets.
Malott looking for Byfield, nothing there, and Boldy will just dance back with it. The horn sound. So the Kings get all 4 points. The Wild saddle with just one in 2 consecutive games in Southern California here from Crypto.com Arena.
Stop!
KG. From Winnipeg to Seattle, Kevin Gorg at Gorgomatic 21 via X. KG and the Minnesota Wild have been on the road a long time. And KG joins us now from the Cappuccino capital. Are you excited to get home to see Fenway and Brooks?
Absolutely. I cannot wait to see those guys. 2 weeks is a long time. And in my 2 decades of doing this gig, by far the longest trip we've ever had, including the trip to Sweden, which was 5 days shorter than this, which is remarkable.
Why? We just heard Joe O'Donnell on KFAN describe the latter stages, the end of that second game against the LA Kings, Senor Spotty. With your favorite team, the Minnesota Wild, why'd they only get one of a possible 4 points in Los Angeles?
Well, you know this in all sports, PA. It's not who you play, but when you play them, right? And the Kings are starting to figure things out. They were one of the favorites in the Western Conference before the season started. They got off to an atrocious start. Didn't look like the LA Kings we've seen in the past. But when they're on top of their game, they're a physical, heavy team. They throw pucks at the net. And for years, they've given the Minnesota Wild fits, especially in their building at Crypto.com. So I don't think anyone was too surprised with how heavy those games were, how tough those games were. I thought the Wild played particularly well in parts, but not the entire process of those 2 games. And I think left LA very frustrated to only get 1 point out of a possible 4. So I think a couple of days to recharge here did them some good, both mentally and physically. And once again, they're catching Seattle Kraken team who's at the top of their game. So it'll be a big challenge again tonight.
What with this road trip, this elongated road trip, Kevin, what's it been like having Alex Stalock on the journey?
Well, I tell you what, as you know, a dear friend of both of ours, he's a ray of sunshine. He's a happy guy. And, he's incredibly talented. So I love working with him. Like all of us that do these games, we've got a passion for game day. So we look forward, especially to being a part of that process. And then just seeing the fun-loving personality that he has day by day. You know him. Everything is fun. Everything is cool. Had a chance to go out and have some wings with Al and the gang last night. Terrific time. He's developed a new skill. Apparently, a golf video game that we're all familiar with, Joe O'Donnell, who he affectionately calls Budsy because he's a good bud of his. Golden Tee. These guys have become almost addicted to that whole process. Every night they're out playing Golden Tee.
Wow.
But yeah, Al's the best.
Are they betting on it?
Not much. I think it's more of a pride thing, right? They've got these 2-person teams, and they got whipped by Audra Martin and Tom Mee, our pregame producer. So I know that was tough on their egos because they've been playing this entire trip, and all of a sudden Audra hops in a couple nights ago and smokes them. So that was terrific. Well,
Audra's an athlete. I mean, we both known Audra quite some time, and I think she was high in softball at one point. But no, Audra, A, ain't afraid of anything, and B, she's an athlete, so I'm not super surprised, you know?
Right. Terrific. And also, apparently she crushed at karaoke. And you know from working at Canterbury and seeing her doing the national anthem out at our racetrack a couple of times, how spectacular she is at that craft. So, yeah, there's not much Audra can't do, but I'm pretty happy that she got the money in Golden Tee.
How great would it be to, be in the crowd karaoke style and have Audra sing a heart song like Barracuda? I mean, that'd be phenomenal, wouldn't it?
So good. I mean, just classic 80s rock with heart.
KG, you're Kraken. Your Kraken have won 8 of the last 9. You referenced it earlier. What's happening there with said Kraken?
I don't know, because we were here just short of a month ago, and they looked awful. They were disjointed. The Wild were the better team every step of the way. And I just, They're a hardworking team. A couple years ago, they were a team that was able to find the back of the net. I think fourth highest goals per game. That year they had that playoff run, 22 and 23. And then it kind of left them for a while. And they had a hard time scoring goals. At the start of this year, scoring goals was a real struggle. That's not the case right now. They put 7 on the Boston Bruins a couple nights ago. They've won 8 out of 9. They've won 4 in a row. And the Pacific Division, PA, is so crazy.
Right.
They're 1 point out of first place right now. The Golden Knights and Oilers are tied at 48. They've got 47, which sounds like they're a playoff lock. And then you look at the first team out of the playoffs, which right now is Anaheim, and they're only 2 points in front of them. So I expect them to be a desperate team. Remember, the last time the Wild played here, Dunn had that clean but really big hit on Matt Zuccarello. It drew the ire of the Minnesota Wild. From that point in the hockey game on, it was super intense. There was physical play. There was chirping. And this was 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So I'm anticipating that the Wild have not forgotten. Zuccarello back in the lineup, obviously doing good things. So tonight could have a little spice to it as well.
Hey, since we down memory lane we go for just a second, like you did to that Seattle game a month ago. A week ago, when you guys were in San Jose, probably feels like a year ago to you, but a week ago when you were in San Jose, I mean, I ain't breaking news here or anything, but how amazing is Macklin Celebrini, especially given his age? I mean, he's fantastic.
I can't believe the kid is 19 years old. I'm so happy that Team Canada did the right thing and put him on the team, because I think hockey fans that are going to watch the Olympics, sports fans that maybe aren't as big of hockey fans, are gonna get a chance to watch this guy, and he's a generational talent. So he's no different than when Connor McDavid or Wayne Gretzky broke into this league. I'm going to keep him in that company because that's what I think about this guy. He's absolutely spellbinding with his offensive skills, but what separates him, PA, is how good he is without the puck. He has what they call a 200-foot game, where he plays just as hard in the defensive zone. He's an incredible skater. He's got the puck skills, but he plays with some grit. He's got some Kirill to him on the wall. And so just amazing to watch that guy up close and personal. And he's haunted the Wild in every matchup this year.
Yep.
And he's 19. So I don't even know how good this guy can be. Like he hasn't even grown into his adult body yet. Like, this kid is something special because he plays in San Jose, because the games are on so late at night for people in the middle of the country or the eastern part of the country. I think the Olympics is going to be a stage where you can really see this kid shine, and it's great for the game of hockey.
All righty.
KG.
Double B is guiding the great Chip Love Covenant today, and he would like to hit you with a question.
Yeah, I think Celebrini's the next Wild killer, the next anti-Wild. But as far as my question, Wallstedt gets the start in Seattle. If Game 1 of the playoffs was today, who would Kevin Gorg put in the net?
Oh, good question, Double B. Wow. You know, a lot would depend, truthfully, on what we see in April, like how these guys are trending into the playoffs. And I think if all things are equal, we sit here right now and handicap this, I think Gus Bus gets the first kick at the can because of his playoff experience. That doesn't mean he's going to be the guy through the entire process. If you look at the best run this franchise ever had, way back in 2003, with Darby Hendrickson and my guy Wes Walls, they were able to rotate guys and have a lot of luck doing it. And I would not be surprised if both these guys had a chance to have an imprint on their playoff push this year, especially if they make a run. Great question. I think Gus Bus, being the incumbent, is the slight lean as we sit here in early January. But I think a lot can change between now and April. And I don't think these coaches right now have any problem at any point putting either one of these guys in any spot. We all thought it'd be Gus tonight in Seattle. When we asked John Hines the question yesterday, I think we were all assuming it was going to be Gus. He's got great numbers against the Kraken, but can't really make a bad decision right now. Both these guys seem to be giving this team a chance to win every time they play. And I think, you know, again, looking forward to April, looking forward to that matchup with Dallas, I do think Gus would get the net in Game 1.
KG, I'm glad Brett asked that question because I was wondering, is there rhyme or reason to which goalie plays? I mean, it was Jesper, then Bus, then Jesper, then Bus. I mean, for just a long time. But that changed a little bit recently. What do you think goes into the coach's decision on which goaltender to play?
Well, PA, I think part of it is the numbers they have against that particular team, but also they look at the schedule that's incoming. And it isn't just who starts tonight in Seattle. Likely the other guy would get the start when they get home to face the Islanders on Saturday. And then if you look at like the schedule when it gets a little bit more condensed, like a week and a half from now, they've got back-to-back games at Toronto and at Montreal. Then they come home for a game with Detroit. They're not just looking at that particular matchup that night. They're trying to look forward to how the rotation will fall. And they want to put these guys out there against teams they've had success against. I think that's a good thing. And so there's a lot that goes into the process, and they look at how they've been trending and how they've been playing. And they try not to give these guys too much of a gap in between games. Now that they've got this rotation kind of figured out, they want to get these guys a steady diet of game action. So I think there's a lot that goes into it. I think Freddie Shabbat, their goalie coach, has got his finger on the pulse, and he's very sharp. And he really tracks what these guys are doing, not only on game night, but on practice night, watching both the guys work with Freddie yesterday at practice for some extended time. I think that's a big piece of the puzzle. And I think John Hines really trusts Freddie Shabbat to kind of help him make that call. Ultimately, it falls on John Hines. But I do think it's a process that starts with Freddie Shabbat.
How excited are you for your Broncos next week with that 1 seed?
It's pretty cool. I was just talking to Double B in the commercial break. Like, I don't know if they're good enough to win the whole thing, but I sure think it's exciting that they get to have home field advantage all the way through it. So if I'm putting my money on the line right now, it's Jacksonville and the Rams for me. I think they both look like some value there. But my heart says the Broncos at home with that defense have a chance, no matter who they play. Even though they got schooled by Jacksonville a couple weeks ago on their home turf, I love that they've got the home field advantage. They earned that after a 1-2 start. Pretty remarkable that they were able to turn it around. Now, it wasn't always pretty. They had a soft schedule and they had some struggles against some bad teams, but they found ways to win games. And I think it's going to be incredibly exciting. I'm pumped about it. I'm a huge Bo Nix fan, as you know. So let's play these games. And I think the NFL is wide open this year. So it's one of those strange years where there's no dominant team. There's no Mahomes. There's no Brady. There's no Lamar. So I think the playoffs are fascinating.
Agreed. Last one on the hockey team. Is tonight a human nature game? I mean, end of a 2-week roadie, and people probably want to get home. I mean, you know what I mean? Is it a human nature night?
Well, there's no question that's on the mind of the coaching staff. They've done everything they can to keep these guys focused in on what matters. This is a big game, in my opinion. This had the potential to be a remarkable trip. LA put them in a position now where it can be a really good trip or it can be just an okay trip. And so I think the couple days off they've had here certainly helps. They all want to get home, right? I mean, 2 weeks is a really long time. A lot of these guys have young kids at home, kids that play hockey, all that good stuff. It's all part of the gig, right? But they won't make any excuses. And I do think what happened with Matt Zuccarello a few weeks ago when they were here, I think that absolutely helps. And I think the more difficult game will be the game when they get back. I think the game Saturday against the Islanders is one of the toughest spots on the entire schedule this year. I'm expecting the Wild to play well tonight. Yeah. I'm expecting the Wild to win tonight. And I'm expecting big trouble on Saturday. First game back after 14 days away. We don't land till late in the afternoon tomorrow. So that to me is a much tougher spot.
Bro, that's an elite take. Last one. If you interview Middleton between periods tonight, any chance he wears his sweater and you go shirtless?
That's a great question, and I guess you'll have to tune in to see what happens.
Just one time. All right, Box in the Box at Tria next Thursday, so would love to have you on. Winnipeg's in town. Would love to have you join if you have time, Kevin.
Sounds wonderful. Count me in, PA.
You're awesome, brother. Can't wait to see you down the road, and safe travels, all right? Enjoy the game tonight.
Love you, PA. Happy birthday a couple days late.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks for the nice video you put together, too. I appreciate you. Kevin Gorg at Gorgomatic21 via X. KG, beloved Senor Spotty. To football with a Ben Lieber around the corner. You're listening to 9 to Noon.